the last couple of days, there was a talk that was percolating, and I was so excited to share it. And then this morning, as I was getting ready, after meditating, after doing my positive intelligence work, after doing some prayer, feeding the cats, I went to the windowsill in the kitchen and thought, I'm going to switch the calendar. My friend, fellow member, and board member, Stephanie, gifted me this Louise Hay calendar for Christmas. And so it was time to flip the page. And there was a whole little write-up about February. And as soon as I started reading this, I'm like, well, there goes yesterday's talk. And here we are with what wants to be shared today, what wants to be explored today. So the quote for today is, I lovingly accept my decisions, knowing that I am always free to change. Right? So whether we feel stuck, whether we feel like we are so in the flow, there is always the opportunity to experience life differently according to the choices and decisions that we make, according to the viewpoint that we have, according to the actions that we take, right? So anyway, this is what the February sheet says. Love is everywhere this month, which is absolutely delightful. I look beyond romance, however, and see how I can better love my fellow humans. So right there, I so appreciate, because love, when I think love is a concept, love is all there is, love is it kind of thing, right? There are many different kinds of love for sure, but it didn't even occur to me when I looked at the February month that someone might say love because Valentine's Day and that kind of thing. But this is like so much bigger, right? And so this question and curiosity about how can I love my fellow humans better? Well, where does it start? It starts with loving ourselves better, loving ourselves more. Really not just appreciating that we are loved, that love is all there is, but in order to show up as the love we are, in order to really embody that, last month's theme, then we really got to be clear on who we are. And we really got to be clear on the choices that we're making, the thoughts we're thinking, the stories that we're telling, the beliefs that we're believing. Is all of that working to affirm that I am love, I am that same love, I am that same power, I am that same energy that is every leaf on every tree, every twinkling star in the sky, that is the gravitational force that holds everything on our globe from being flung out, into space? I am that. Every single person here is that. Reverend Blenda, Mariana, everybody tuning in on YouTube online right now, of which there are several members. Hello, Anne. Hello, Juliana. Hello, Deb and Ed. Who else did I find out watches us on YouTube? Loretta, Dax. There's so many people tuning in on YouTube, you just can't tell unless they comment. So hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us on Sunday. So anyway, so going back to this, how can I better love my fellow humans? How can I better love myself? And that's a choice, right? That's a choice I know that I am faced with pretty much every single day, especially when I'm feeling stressed, especially when I'm feeling overwhelmed, especially when I feel like there's no way, of course there's a way, there are gazillions of ways, but there's no way that I can get all of this stuff done in the amount of time that I have in which to do it. And then I get hard on myself, and then I beat myself up, and then, right? No. All of that is happening, and that's the way I'm feeling, and yet I am still remembering that even in that muckety-muck, I am love, and the more that I love myself, the more capacity I have to love everybody else. The easier and more automatic it is to be compassionate with others when they're in the muckety-muck, okay? No matter what they're going on, when they have a different opinion. When they do something that isn't to our liking. And that means like people in our life, that means people in politics, that means people across the world, right? So this is what she says she does. I open my mind and heart a bit more each day, and I discover new insights, new viewpoints, and new ways to understand what is happening around me. And that speaks to the curiosity that Sherry was talking about, right? Like, people talk a lot about being around like-minded people. For me, that kind of fell to the wayside a while ago because I want to be with open-minded people. I want to be with people who are okay with hearing different points of view, who are okay to debate stuff without taking things personally, who feel it's okay to disagree because that's how we grow, right? That's how we're challenged. Oh, I never thought of it from that perspective. Oh, that's a great idea. It never entered my mind, right? So opening mind and heart a bit more each day, discovering new insights, new viewpoints, and new ways to understand. Now, from a new thought perspective, even from a quantum perspective, we don't need to wait for a day on the calendar to flip. Every single moment is like a brand new baby day. That's a Mary Morrissey thing. A brand new baby day, because every single moment the universe is being reborn anew. It reboots itself. We are part and parcel of the universe. We are part and parcel of God. We are rebooting ourselves. We are being rebooted. It just sort of seems like we're on this linear time path, right? But we're brand new every single moment. And so we get to choose to have a different experience if we want. And when we open our mind, when we open ourselves up to being challenged, then that's when we really get to experience something different, because that's when we feel, sort of like, discombobulated, and you're being like, that doesn't sit well with me. Well, why doesn't it? Because it's activating something in you that requires some attention. Now, maybe it doesn't resonate with you, but maybe it does, but you haven't had an opportunity to really lean into it yet. So in this month of transformation, we get to lean in. We get to lean into, how can I show up more of who and what I am, as more of who and what I am, in new and different ways? Not just the ways that I have been, but what have I not tried? What have I not thought? How have I related in ways, or not related in ways that I could? What experiences could I have? Sometimes it's going to be super simple, like stirring the pot with your non-dominant hand and going, whoa, that feels different, right? Sometimes it's about taking a trip to somewhere where you've never been and don't speak the language, the native language, and just like figuring out how to get along and navigate while you're there, right? And then there's all other examples that I'm sure every single one of us could speak to. So, goes on to say, the more I understand and love others, the more that understanding and love return to me. As we demonstrate compassion for each other and recognize that we all are one, we move away from fear and competition to love and cooperation, and the entire world benefits. Now, I wrote some notes here. I'm not even looking at the page because this talk is very alive in the moment. And what comes up for me as I read that last statement is, a few years ago, when Glenn and I were still doing our podcast, Who Do You Think You Are?, one of my favorite guests that we had the opportunity to interview is Daryl Davis. And Daryl Davis is an amazing boogie-woogie blues piano player, and he is also an African-American man who became friends with the leader of the Ku Klux Klan. And it took some time to get there, but he approached that entire situation and relationship and all the relationships that came out of his determination and commitment to be curious about, how could you have these opinions about me and even hate me when you don't even know me? And so that conversation that we had with him was so good. Like, it was just so amazing to talk to someone who, in my mind, was like, wow, that is so brave, that is so courageous, that is so like off the wall, to go into a situation that is potentially life-threatening. And he told us about different situations where there were guns and whatever. And but he had this curiosity about, how could you have this opinion? How could you hate me when you don't even know me? And because of that curiosity, and because of discussion, and because of conversation from these incredibly opposed viewpoints, there was an openness that happened. There was an understanding that happened. And the person that he ended up becoming friends with ended up not being the leader of the Ku Klux Klan anymore, because he was forever transformed, because of Daryl's commitment, because of his curiosity. Okay? Now, I don't think I've had a personal experience like that in my life, but when I look to that one, and I just hear him speak, I am blown away, and I'm so inspired. And so to me, that is an invitation for all of us to become curious, for all of us to lean into commitment in exploring new ways of being, new ways of relating, new ways of experiencing, of sharing, giving, receiving the love that we are. And sometimes it doesn't feel good, but when we open ourselves up, then that love that we are gets to shine and radiate and just move through us and express itself more fully. And that's part of what we're here to do too. So now I'm thinking to the song that we sang for the opening, Anything is Possible When You Believe, by Eddie Watkins Jr. Faith can make a mountain move when you believe. So what do you believe? Do you believe that you live in a safe universe? Do you believe that you are love expressing? Do you believe that maybe you're a little bit more love expressing than so-and-so over here, or so-and-so on the TV, on the news? What do you truly believe? Because when you get to those core beliefs, they might explain why you're having the experiences that you're having, why your viewpoint is the way that it is, and why sometimes it can feel so hard to change. So, the title of my talk is Transformation, the Conscious Commitment of Love. And so when I was thinking about the word itself, transformation, beyond formation, beyond or through the relative, the conventional, the things that we experience with our five senses, what we really want to get to, it's not the transformation that is the end result. No, it's not the transformation that's the goal. The transformation is the result. The thing that gets us there is being committed to living as the love we are, living life lovingly. Okay? That's the thing we want to focus on. And the more we focus on that, the more we transform our experience. Our experience of how we're showing up as the love we are, our experience of how we relate to the love that's showing up as everyone and everything else. So the commitment of love in action, of conscious, intentional love, that's what I am inviting us all to lean into. So transformation itself isn't success, it isn't the goal. Transformation is the demonstration of the commitment and faith we put into opening our minds and hearts a bit more each day so that we can more consciously experience the infinite potentiality of the love we truly are. So this month, I'm inviting us all to continue opening up, to continue leaning in, to embrace curiosity, even in the most challenging, especially in the most challenging times with the most challenging people and experiences, and just open up to what's a different way that love can show up here? What's a different way that I, as love, can show up here? Because I promise you, when you get more intentional about your choices, your actions reflect those choices, which reflects the intentionality, which simply allows you to more fully embody the love you truly are, the love we all are. So in the end, transformation isn't the thing we're after. Transformation is the result of the commitment and faith we put into opening ourselves up to new ways of experiencing the love we truly are, the love that is everyone and everything. And the more that we do that, the more we transform ourselves, each other, and our world. Thank you, and so it is.